So I just jotted down a couple of things that I think is retirement in our minds, okay? A condo in Arizona, a cruise every winter, a motorhome, a cottage, annual trips to Europe, helping the kids with down payments, new cars every few years, golf memberships, restaurant dinners, 30 years of leisure and joy.
Okay, well, so to do that, Mike, according to all the financial analysts in Canada, you would probably need to have approximately $1.5 million saved to live that kind of lifestyle in retirement.
Hi, this is TPL Media. I am Mike. That's Jim right there. We do shows together. And today, Jim, have we been asking the wrong question? I mean, I've been hearing for years that Canadians are never going to be able to retire. We can't retire until we're 80, and that we're going to be working our whole lives away. But I wonder if this is true. Today, we're talking about how long are you going to have to work being a Canadian? Thanks for talking about this, Jim, who, by the way, I think you're probably about 30 years from retirement yourself.
No, I think there's two questions that we're going to talk about today. Have to retire, want to retire. Mm-hmm. Because if you're a teacher in Ontario, the Ontario Teacher Pension Plan, they have Factor 85. So if you become a teacher in a school in Ontario in your late 20s, by your mid-50s, you can retire with a full pension.
Right.
And the chances are you're probably going to live another 25, 30 years. And so you can either fully retire or then go into semi-retirement after, because you have a teacher's pension and you can do other things. So it's a question a lot of us have. By my own admission, I did not make a lot of money in my 20s as I struggled. So I kind of still need to work, but I also like to work and I want to work.
Yeah,
so
that's a perspective, right?
That's a perspective. And I know people in certain professions and other jobs, whether it's white collar or blue collar or the trades or whatever they do, they enjoy it. They enjoy working. They enjoy the passion. They enjoy being needed and having that thing to wake up to every day.
I think my dad retired at 56 from what was then Ontario Hydro with a great pension, and then found another passion in life in volunteering, and still at 87 years old every day, 7 days a week, because he loves it so much, it seems, that he's there at the food bank volunteering. I think it's a matter of perspective again. You're right, it's two things. In my opinion, it's two things. It's the balance sheet, not the age.
Yes.
And it's the desire to work or not to work. And unfortunately, if you don't want to work and the balance sheet doesn't work out, you're going to be unhappy. And that's a reality. But, Jim, and I hate to do this, but I think that we do this often as humans. Mm-hmm. We say something, we repeat it, we believe it. You can't unring these bells sometimes that we ring. And when we keep saying, you're going to have to work till you're 80, really it says, I don't make enough money to put money aside.
Or you were a little irresponsible and didn't make the effort to put money aside. And by my own admission, in my 20s, I was not smart with money.
You bought that Corvette?
I did. I couldn't afford it. I had an old K car.
You baller.
Yeah. Credit card debt. It wasn't until my 30s till I started to be educated and started to get smart about money and more responsible with money. Now, I know people like at 22, 23 are already good savers and are well on their way to financial stability. We're all different. And there's a few other things at play here. Some people don't like their job, but go to it every day because they need to. Yeah. And there's other people that, I'm not making maybe as much as a teacher or a firefighter, but I like doing it. And I'm going to keep doing it because they enjoy it.
I think that there is something to be said for the empathy that I have for people that don't want to work. Absolutely need to work to keep food on their table because, with Canada Pension and whatever support they get from the government, post-work is not enough to keep them eating and in a comfortable place after having worked their whole life. I think some consideration needs to be made on that front. But then there's this other side of it. We went through, do you remember what retirement was like for your grandparents?
My grandfather, my dad's side, was a meat inspector at Canada Packers in Halifax. And I believe he worked until his early 60s, like in that 62, 65.
Okay.
And then he retired from Canada Packers.
And he had this opulent retirement where it was luxury? He was traveling and he was on a sailboat.
No.
What was his retirement like? Describe it.
It was pretty basic. He had left Germany after World War I, before World War II, and he was ashamed what Germany did in the World War II and vowed he'd never go back. But then my dad's last European posting was in Lahr, Germany. They come back to Canada. He tells his father, my grandfather, no, Germany's a great place now. They're friends with us now. It's a beautiful country. So he went back to Germany a few times to see family, even though he hadn't been back in 45 years.
Right.
And spent time with my sister and I and other grandkids. And,
So
he had a little garden he putted around in. Yeah.
He had some monumental moments.
Yes.
But he filled his time with wholesome,
Absolutely.
modest living.
Very much so. He grew up with nothing. And so he didn't know what being immodest was with money. It wasn't part of his thinking.
So now
people of that era.
Imagine showing your grandfather a commercial for Freedom 55.
Yeah.
I mean, he would probably not. My grandmother, much like you, she worked for Canada Revenue Agency till she was 65, and she retired. When you retire as a civil servant in this country, if you continue on, 65 years old. She did not have an opulent. We had a great life together with my grandmother. My grandmother retired. I remember her working. I remember her retired. She lived into her 90s, and she was able to live a modest lifestyle and be near all of us.
But was she happy?
100%. We had a great time.
And Mike, I think that's a key thing. Sometimes people feel I need this, this, and this, and I need to go here, here, and here to be happy. But there's a lot of people here in Canada who think, I just need simple things, maybe one trip a year to see some things I've always wanted to see, and maybe do some volunteering. Yeah. And I don't have an extravagant lifestyle. And I think a lot of people live a modest lifestyle in Canada and are very happy doing it.
Retirement as a pensioner is a fairly new thing in civilization. I'm
Absolutely.
glad it's there.
Yeah.
But I think we're still adapting to it a little bit.
Yes.
And also, let's be honest. What is in our mind as retirement has been sold to us through the financial arms of commercial and
for the last 30,
finance.
40 years, right?
It's been pounded into our heads, invest, have RRSPs, retirement savings plans are everything to us now. TFSAs.
Yeah.
So I just jotted down a couple of things that I think is retirement in our minds, okay? A condo in Arizona, a cruise every winter, a motorhome, a cottage, annual trips to Europe, helping the kids with down payments, new cars every few years, golf memberships, restaurant dinners, 30 years of leisure and joy.
Okay, well, so to do that, Mike, according to all the financial analysts in Canada, you would probably need to have approximately $1.5 million saved to live that kind of lifestyle in retirement. Well, now, not many Canadians will retire with an investment portfolio of around $1.5 million. I won't, and I think a lot of Canadians won't, Mike.
Well, we made this transition during the boomer era. I hate picking on boomers. Am I a boomer, by the way?
No, we're past that. We're Gen X.
Oh, I don't even like us. So having said that, the boomers went out there. They bought homes for $16,000, $17,000. They later sold for $1.6, $1.7 million. Financial geniuses. But they had, we witnessed as youth and young adults, our parents experienced this upswing of financial abundance. And I think that what happened, we redefined retirement as financial abundance and not financial independence.
And here's the other thing too, the boomer generation, most jobs back then had a pension, some sort of pension. Yeah. So you'd have your work pension, your CPP, and now your old age security. So you had 3 income streams post-retirement. Most jobs now in Canada do not have a pension or a retirement plan. They simply don't. There's a lot of self-employed people or companies, small, medium-sized companies, that they give you this, this, and this, but a pension plan is not part of it. So you're on your own. And that is why the government workers, provincial or federal, a teacher, a first responder, they're the most solid pensions in Canada when you think about it.
Right.
Because most jobs, most careers don't have pensions. Now, I know tradespeople like the Carpenters Union, Electricians Union, they have through the unions, they have a good pension plan as well.
Well, and it's interesting. We just had a really great conversation with our colleague here, Paul McCucci.